What's going on, awesome people? It is Saturday, 3 p.m. Welcome to another episode of Awesome People Instagram Live. Got a special program to you. Again, if you haven't been following the past week, I've been racking up on these Awesome People IG Lives because, well, recently there's been a major influx of the amount of awesome people that have come across in my little ecosystem, and they are the ambassadors of the Azadi Festival happening July 3rd in DC, specifically Ship Garden at Tyson's Corner. I figured that all these incredible individuals from around the world that have agreed to become ambassadors of the festival, they all deserve a dedicated Awesome People Instagram Live series. And so we've been chugging along, doing as many of them as possible, because at this point there are more ambassadors than there are days left leading up to the festival. But it's okay, even if I have to do 5 IG Lives a day to make sure that you all get to know these incredible human beings, I will do that. And today, my guest is going to be Ashley Zarah. She's an amazing artist from the West Coast. She was born and raised in Los Angeles. Her Iranian-influenced pop music represents the sound of Iranian America, which I'm going to have her explain a little bit more in detail, but where she fuses musical traditions from around the world to both heal trauma and highlight the distinct beauty of Persian culture. That was a very interesting line right there. Heal trauma and highlight the distinct beauty of Persian culture. She's been featured in the world-renowned editorials such as the Hype magazine, NPR's Sound Opinions, Girl Talk HQ, Buzz Music LA, and continues to use her platform to represent the people, particularly the women and minorities of Iran, while also being an advocate for mental health awareness in the Middle East. We're also going to touch on a little bit of mental health. So yeah, I'm excited to bring her on. She's been incredibly active during the entire WLF Revolution and is now one of our ambassadors at Azadi Festival. So that means that she's not only coming to perform, but she's actually been integrally involved behind the scenes with almost 40 other ambassadors that have been meeting on a pretty much daily basis and constantly ideating and brainstorming and strategizing and coming up with the best possible 12-hour experience for the entire family in the nation's capital. If you don't know what Azadi Festival is, click the link in my bio, find out more about it. You don't want to miss this, especially because even if you can't make it in person, you can still be a part of it virtually. The entire 12-hour experience will be live streamed, so it's pretty much an event that if you are Iranian, a lover of Iranian culture, or if you're just a lover of community and unity, that I hope that you become a part of it in some capacity. And if you want to become an ambassador like Ashley and be involved because you love events, you love community, you love culture, you love unity, you love everything that we're talking about here, then there's a link in my bio as well that says 4 ways that you can support the Azadi Festival. You can be an ambassador, be like Ashley. You can be an ally. You can be a contributor financially. Who would have thought that putting on events would cost money, huh? And then also, of course, you can become a vendor because there's going to be an all-Iranian bazaar. So we're here to highlight artists and entrepreneurs and businesses that are doing something to preserve our art, our culture, our music, and everything else that is Iranian. So it's the ultimate Iranian festival for a reason. Go check out the promo video in my bio if you haven't checked it out yet. Sorry, in my feed. Ashley June, we need you to click request join, please, so we can bring your beautiful face onto the screen and help welcome you to the rest of the squad. So I'm just waiting for Ashley to go ahead and click that plus button inside of the camera. If you're excited to get to know Ashley, go ahead and drop a line right below. Would love to kind of see where you're joining from. Yeah, we got a pretty cool crew that we get to. There she is. Here comes Ashley June. All Please give her a virtual welcome. In 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Hey.
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
How are you?
So great to see you. If you can actually move the camera up a little bit, just so that we don't have the
Sure.
top of your head cut off, that would be excellent.
Oh,
I love your flag in the backdrop.
Oh, heck yeah. Sorry, my back is covering it, but
No,
you're
it's great.
supporting me.
Beautiful visuals. Good to have you here on a Saturday, early afternoon for you, afternoon for me.
Love it. Thank you.
And so I want to kind of just start off once again for being a believer of the Azadi Festival. I still remember I was driving back from Orlando and I got the sweetest message from you It was so motivating for me. It got me all excited, and I was like, okay, we're on the right track because of messages like this. So, so let's kind of start before we get into Azadi Festival. For those who don't have the pleasure of knowing who Ashley is, why don't you go ahead and give a little background, and so they can get familiarized.
Sure. So I'm Ashley Zarah, and I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, largest Iranian community outside of Iran, if you are not aware of that. And it also initially it was mostly an Iranian Jewish community. I am Iranian, I am Jewish, 100% of both, very, very proud. And yeah, I just grew up really loving, I think I just loved, I thought that I just loved music and food and like hanging out with my friends and everything, but it actually was just a love of being Persian, which I realized later on, you know, and however, the love of music thing maybe was a little bit more particular, and I actually studied, my budding start was actually studying with Mohammad Khordadian.
Oh, amazing.
He was my dance teacher.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Not a bad person to get you involved in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like that's when I really bit the bug, and I was very, very young. I was probably like 4 years old or something, and just obsessed with every culture's music, and then started creating it when I was 9, and now I'm here performing.
It's a very young age to start creating it, because I know I was reading in your bio that being into music isn't exactly in your family tree, you know, so you kind of like stumbled upon it. I guess Khordadian helped a little bit, but then there was musical inspirations such as Sima Bina and Darius and Pink Floyd and all these. It's like they're very eclectic, and then you have like German rock in there. Like I feel like there's a Du Hast or something, you know. I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of everything inside of you, and that's pretty amazing. And then you got the whole Iranian Judean aspect too. So tell us about like this eclecticity that you decided to kind of project into through music and arts.
Sure. Yeah. Growing up, I feel like if I heard something that resonated with me, it didn't matter who was singing it, who had recorded it. I felt it in my heart. So I listened to, German rock bands like La Fille and Tokyo Hotel, and French artists like Indila and Stromae, who's also Belgian. And it just I just honored those people as individuals. And I was like, look at these amazing things that are coming from all around the world. And also like, that's kind of just who I was anyway. But then I also studied at a music school in Boston. That was a pretty international school. So all of my friends were like from Asia and Africa and South America and Europe, Canada, like all over the world. And we shared so much, not just musically, but culturally. And it's kind of hard not to be a sponge and just absorb everything. And when you do create those things, I think subconsciously are just brewing and mixing together. So yeah.
when the woman life revolution, when a woman life freedom revolution began, I feel like you kind of like changed a little bit your music and your art to kind of like be the voice of Iranians. So can you kind of let us know like what kind of things that you were doing through your art and music and creativity to bring awareness to the revolution ever since last fall?
Sure. Actually, the month before everything happened with Masa Jina June, I had written a song a year earlier called Persian Salsa. And Persian Salsa I've realized that like people don't really know and respect who we are as Iranian women. And I think even us in our community don't respect who we are, and treat us with a high regard and high caliber. And so I wrote this song because I was like, I love listening to pop music that makes me feel really good and listening to other women hype each other up. But we don't really have a lot of that in the Middle Eastern community in general, definitely not for Persian women. And so I wrote Persian Salsa, and then it's a long process. So a year later, it gets released in August. And I was actually very, very scared because it was a shift. I was, prior to that, doing a lot of traditional Iranian music that people were like, oh, it's so classy. And I even would wear like rusari in some spaces to be respectful. And you're being a good Iranian woman. And then I was like, okay, time to like really show what I believe we're capable of and what I believe that we should be free to do. And so very quickly, I had a music video that I'm like dancing and showing off my legs and being very different. And it was received with a lot of positivity and love. And a lot of the women felt very emboldened by it, which was the goal. This is a long-winded story, sorry. But then a month later, everything happened in Iran. And I was very happy that I had made the choices I had made musically, because I was like, yeah, these are the women that I want to support. And I started getting messages from girls in Iran that would say to me, like, I listen to Persian salsa before I go out in the streets and like fight the Basiji. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's insane to me. I can't believe that that's like your hype music. But, you know, they felt represented and seen by someone who's similar to them. And since then, I've like really wanted to continue to fuel the fire with joyful music and powerful music, shaytuni music that makes people feel really like, yeah.
You really want to stick it to the regime through your music and your art. You've literally and figuratively lifted the veil in order to be the voice of Iranian strong woman. There's somebody that's watching right now, Waifara. She's wondering if you've ever been to Iran. I feel like it's a good question to ask right now.
God, actually, I have not. I've never been to Iran. And going back to Persian salsa, it was a big, bittersweet release for me, because I knew that once that comes out, I would be forfeiting my biggest dream in the world. But I just knew that, like, this is not the country that I want to go back to. So I'm going to forfeit my chance for everybody else. I want to keep supporting.
I think a lot of people can relate to the sacrifice that, you know, we're basically making. You know, like, we'd love to all go to Iran, but we're choosing to do the fight outside of it so that we can go to an Iran that is worthy of us going to go visit, you know. So
Exactly.
you kind of mentioned being a little shaytun, and I kind of want to reference another section of your bio, and I want you to kind of elaborate on it. In the bio, it says her versatility and range continues to expand and evolve, but so does her influence on what it means to be an Iranian Judean woman. Her proud reclamation of her identity and bold representation in public media has not only caused controversy, but more importantly has reframed how viewers see themselves and also foreign cultures around them. Tell me about the controversy. Is it pretty much like you kind of got some auntie and uncles saying that, you know what, it's a little bit too risque, or did you actually have some other things that kind of stood out with you kind of breaking out?
It was multiple things. One, I think, yeah, being just a very strong, strong-willed woman that was just doing a lot of things that in our culture is out of the norm, triggered a lot of people, both young and old. So not just aunties and uncles, but younger people as well, younger men mostly. A lot of the controversial stuff comes from these two things coexisting, and people get it's interesting. Like, people find it difficult for us to be very intersectional. I think there's an issue with like purity in lots of cultures, and it's funny because like I'm 99.5% Iranian. So it's like, if you want to talk about purity, I am very pure. But people think that, like, if there are lots of stereotypes and taboos about being Jewish around the world, but also in this community. And so that has stirred some trouble. And I am very proud of both. And I don't think that one takes away from the other. I think that they're both very rich, and Iranian Jews have been in Iran for over 5,000 years. So like, we don't have, I think it's important to be very proud and very positive about your identity. And if it triggers other people, that's an indicator for them. That's something that they need to explore. And it's also something that we should be aware of, because it's something as a community that we should tap into together and ask, why is our community like this? What can we do to change it? So those are a few
Well, I
of
mean,
the things.
you're definitely leading by example right now. So I feel like right now you're much more confident in how you feel about these multiple backgrounds that you have. But what was a turning point where you're now kind of using that as your message and like as like a source of um, encouraging others to embrace all these different sides that they may have been growing up in. So like, how was it in the beginning? How were you dealing with it? Was it affecting you negatively for a while and you had to grow through it? And what was the turning point? Or was it the Masa Gina Amini? Was that the turning point? When was the turning point for you?
So prior to how I am now, I was very secretive about my identity. I was actually Ashley Zarah, for people who don't know, is my first name and my Hebrew name.
Mm.
But I didn't use my last name because my last name is in Hebrew. So Sarah, or what is Zara on there, is a nice little like bridge between,
Got
it
it.
can be, it's kind of ambiguous. So I was hiding a lot. And Persian salsa, I keep referring back to it, but it really helped me kind of say, like, you know what? It's time to just not give an F anymore. And to, when you are unapologetically yourself, other people feel emboldened to do the same thing and be the same way. And I, like you mentioned in my introduction, like mental health is very, very important to me. Suicide prevention is very important to me. And I think that those types, that direction, when people go into that negative direction, it's usually as a result of some sort of suppression, some identity, emotional suppression. And any time that you feel proud and happy and aligned with yourself, like you're usually spreading more good into the world. So I think it's like, I'm here to encourage people to be exactly who they are without hurting anybody else. And like you'll see your light just spreads and infects other people to be the same exact way. So just to create a healthy, positive community.
I love it.
Yeah.
You definitely do lead a great example, and hopefully, if anybody else is having doubts about their own identity, somebody like you will be able to kind of give them that source of energy and motivation to just kind of break out and be you. That's the best way. Let's kind of transition now and talk about this exciting program that we have coming up on July 3rd, Azadi Festival. Before we get into the details of it, what resonated with you? You know, why were you like, man, I really want to be a part of this thing. I feel like that's where we need to be. What kind of triggered for you?
So I heard about the Azadi Festival, and I feel like it was happening and I didn't even know about it. And then I guess it was put on pause or something for a moment, and I was shocked that I didn't know about it because I feel like I feel like the entire Iranian community would be behind this event. Like it's literally the Freedom Festival, and I'm all about strengthening people with joy. Like when people are dancing and they're singing and they're eating foods that they love and everything, like that's what really fills you up. That's what re-energizes you. And so I was like, Azadi Festival? That has like my name written all over it. I would love to come contribute. And I love reminding people how amazing we are. Like Iranians are so badass. We're so cool. And so I very excitedly messaged you and I'm like, can I be a part of this? Because it's for the community and everything that I do is for our people, and I just want to help make people happy and embolden them. And I keep using that word, but to keep fighting and to keep the flame going because it's still very much lit.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's no doubt that we need to keep this fire alive. What is it? Can you give us a little bit of a teaser of what we can expect? Like, what do you have brewing as a performer? Because you're involved both as an ambassador, so you're like behind the scenes helping and ideating, but then you're also coming in as an artist performing. You don't have to give everything away, but can you give us a little bit of an idea of what to expect when you see Ashley Zarah on stage at the Azadi Festival?
For sure. Okay. Keep it out. I don't want to divulge too much. Expect an honoring of tradition as well as a little bit of trailblazing change. So it's going to be a nice mix of traditional and new contemporary. So
Beautiful.
it's very cool. Yeah, I promise you'll enjoy it.
Because your other favorites were like Haide, and yet you want to kind of add that modern twist. And those are some incredible sounds, you know. Those amazing vocals of Haide with some modern beats, and then great dancing and singing. You get چه بهتر از اون, you know. It's gonna be good.
Get ready to dance for sure. Yeah.
Cannot wait. And then I think you're gonna have some performers too to come be accompanying and stuff, you know. But I won't divulge too much now. But it's a show for sure.
Yes.
You're also going to be helping out. There's a couple of little segments to this festival that are for all ages, and one is going to be a kids corner. You've decided to help out with that. Can you share a little bit with the viewers of like what to expect in the kids corner? What are you guys brewing in the kids corner group chat?
Absolutely. The part that I am most involved in is we're going to be doing a dance teaching section, so a little dance class for the kids over there, which is funny that I brought up Khordadian early on because it's kind of like a full circle moment. I was a little kid being like, I've never done this before, and just standing there, and Aghay Khordadian saying, pretend you're holding a hot kebab in your hand, mix it like this, twist it like this, and I've never forgotten it. I'm like, there's that kebab. It's hot. I'm not gonna drop it. But it's so fun, and it's teaching kids cool things about who they are, and letting them explore who they are, how they want to. And so I am over the moon about being a part of that with the other team members over there. There's going to be like storybook reading, and I'm really excited.
Well, Mo from Retail Therapy Clinic is wondering if adults can join. I think he wants to hold the kebab, and I think he might want to eat it too. He doesn't just want to hold it. He wants to hold and eat and everything. But you know what? I have no doubt that in about 20 years, there's going to be a young girl or boy that's going to be like, I wasn't even into Persian dance until Ashley Zarah did like a dance performance at Azadi Festival. And now, you never know. This is how things happen. We have it on record right over here that you're going to be able to spark something inside the youth. And honestly, that's really one of the best parts of the Azadi Festival, is that it's through these type of things and these type of experiences, these type of events, that we're going to be able to have the next generation be more involved in our language, in our music, in our dance, in our history. We're going to have a Sunnati room, an entire immersive experience where they get to experience a very traditional but most likely modern twist of an Iranian experience there. There's so many different components to this massive ship garden space, so we're going to be doing everything that we can to create a diverse program for all ages. I'm really excited. What are you most excited about for Azadi Festival?
I was gonna say the Sonati room is really exciting. I'm excited to be up for 12 hours straight. I'm gonna participate in everything. I wanna go see all the vendors. I'm really excited also to be seeing like what the community is like on the East Coast, because I'm so used to being here and I haven't been part of another Persian community. So I'm really stoked to be able to support as many people as possible and meet you all. And yeah.
Is this your first time in DC?
It is. It is my first time.
We're gonna roll out the Persian carpet for you for DC. Ashley, why are you fighting this fight?
Everybody deserves their basic rights. Everybody deserves freedom. I think like the deep-rooted thing that really fires me up is it's a little bit vengeful. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm amongst tens of thousands of people marching in Los Angeles, I think about my family. I think about what this exact regime did to my family. They sent us out. They hung us in the streets, and nobody deserves that anywhere in the world. No one deserves it. And I refuse to see this happening again and again to our family that is still in Iran. We have the experience. We know how this goes. And we have the power to be their voice because we know their story. So we should be doing it for them, 100%. So I will not rest. I feel very strong.
What does a free Iran look like to you?
Free Iran. I know that it can't be the way that it used to be. So when I say this, I'm not saying I want it to be how it used to be. But I think in my mind, it kind of looks like how it used to be pre the past revolution in terms of people just wearing whatever they want. People are laughing and having parties with their friends. You know, I also feel like people don't realize how different we were as an empire in terms of like sexual freedom as well. Like you should be able to be part of the LGBTQ community and have rainbow flags in Iran because that was actually a very Iranian thing thousands of years ago. So I think just like going back to the whole freedom of expression and equality for all, I feel like that sounds very general, but looks very beautiful to me.
You would think it's very general, but that's exactly what we're fighting for, because clearly over there it's not general enough that we actually have to fight for it and people are losing their life for it. So since you've never been to Iran, we all know that a free Iran is around the corner. We don't know when, but it will be there. So when Iran is free and we're flying into Iran and I'm Ashley Zarah, which city am I flying into and what is the first thing that I'm going to be doing?
Oh my gosh. Oh, geez. That's a great question. Because I'm like, I want to land, I want to go to Hamadan, I want to go to Kashan, I want to go to Nahavan. That's where my family, they're all from there. But I don't think it's a specific city that I want to go to, but there is a specific thing that I want to do, and it's kind of weird, I think. It might sound weird. There are these restaurants or something that have these huge like wooden platforms. They're kind of like seating areas.
Outdoorsy.
And they're pegged on top of these rivers, and people get to just sit there and have their actually it's happening. Have their like chai, and they just have their feet in the river and they're just eating and stuff. I just want to dip my feet in the water and like sit there and be with my friends and family. That's what I want to do. Yeah.
I've seen some videos of that, and it looks pretty. Oh, it's lava soon. That's right. It's lava at least one area. That is incredible. Yeah. Well, listen. I hope that when you do go there, that I happen to be there at the same time, because I really would love to experience this together. And then I'm going to be like, remember that Awesome People IG Live that we did right before the festival? We spoke it into existence, and then we cheers a chai. I might have some rum in that chai, but you know, it'll still be a nice chai because I'll be free to do that. You know, I don't have to be.
Yes.
And then I'm going to look over to Mo, and I'm going to be like, Mo, can I hold your kebab? And you know, we're going to have Zar. I'm going to be like, Mo, hold the kebab. Ashley's going to perform Persian salsa right now. You know, and like that's how we're going to be living life. I mean, this is what we're fighting for. This is what we're fighting for.
I fall straight into the river because we're just dancing too hard. That sounds like a dream. Yes. I'm looking forward to it already.
And the people in DC, if they come a day before the festival, they get to have a special treat because Ashley's going to be performing at Air. Yeah. Air is a Sunday night event series that we have at Exclusively Entertainment at the same venue, Ship Garden, that holds thousands of people. So essentially, it's going to be like a run through, but it'll still be a great, unique performance by Ashley. And so, if you're in DC, Sunday, July 2nd. For Air, should be performing, and then of course the next day, Monday, July 3rd, if she didn't party too hard Sunday night, gonna come back on stage and perform definitely multiple times and multiple locations in the Azadi Festival, and blessing us with her amazing energy, big smile, and awesome talent. So I'm excited. You're excited. I hope everybody's watching excited. Thank you so much for joining, Ashley. Thank you so much for believing in the Azadi Festival and doing so much to make it an incredible event.
Oh my God. I mean, you guys have been, thank you for welcoming me into this and for truly leading this movement that we're doing for the festival itself. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Well, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and hopefully you can make it to our 4 o'clock Zoom.
Sounds good. Will do.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Khuda
Bye.
Hafiz. Ba umid azadi. All right, that was the awesome Ashley Zarah, ladies and gentlemen. I hope now you're excited to meet her in person at the Azadi Festival on July 3rd. She's a great force that we're blessed to have as an ambassador and a performer, making it better. If you're just joining in late, July 3rd, Azadi Festival in Tysons, Virginia, at Ship Garden. Link in bio for more information and tickets. Early bird tickets are only $10. They're going to be going up very soon. Buy it for yourself, buy it for your family and friends, and know that even if you can't make it in person, the entire 12-hour experience will be live streamed. Appreciate you all joining. Make sure to join me on Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. We're going to have another one of our ambassadors. It is going to be Ravin Khorshid Alam. He's got the Instagram page Raw Fresh that's been making a lot of content about Iran. He's one of our ambassadors. So join us Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I appreciate you guys joining in. And tomorrow, if you're in DC, Sunday night, air from 8 p.m. onwards at Ship Garden. Exclusively Entertainment, DJ Pierre, DJ Yazdan, and DJ Cam, playing the best international music. Hope to see you guys. I'll be there tomorrow, and then I'm going back to Miami. So try to come out and join. I would love to see you, say hi to you, shake your hand, and thank you all.